Hello and welcome to this episode of In the Principal's Office Season 2. My name is Peng and I'm the school principal of Sekolah Kebangsaan Taman Keramat 1 from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. On behalf of global school leaders, I'm delighted to be your host today. Usually, being called to the principal's office is a scary prospect. But I hope through this series, we are able to change that. Today, I'm honored to have an exceptional leader, academic, and the current education minister of Sierra Leone visiting me in my office. I'm excited to speak to him and get his thoughts on the kind of leadership required for schools today. Please join me in welcoming Minister Conrad Sackey. Hello, Mr. Sackey. Welcome to the show. We are delighted to have you joining us today.
Good afternoon. I'm delighted to be here today. I don't think people tend to be delighted to get to the principal's office, but on this occasion, I am delighted.
Thank you so much. It is amazing to speak to you all the way from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Before we begin, could you please tell us a little bit about Freetown, Sierra Leone?
Well, Freetown, Sierra Leone is a very small country on the west coast of Africa. It has a population of roughly about 8 million, and Freetown is the capital of Sierra Leone. In a sense, it's a country that is steeped in history, but we have had some misfortunes as well. So we've had three major shocks in Sierra Leone. We had 11 years of civil war. We also had 2 years of Ebola, where the education system shut down. And then a couple of years ago, we had a mudslide which killed about 2,000 people. So all of these things have had an impact in our education system, but we are a very resilient people. We've got up again like the phoenix from the ashes. We're ready to go. So that's a little bit of history of Sierra Leone.
That sounds very interesting, and I really hope to visit Freetown, Sierra Leone one day. By the way, just to let you know, it is not in my list at the moment, but after speaking to you, I think I will reconsider that.
Well, I'm going to try to make sure that it's in the top of your list.
Okay, good. I think I have to start keeping some money every day. Well, here's my first questions for you. Before we talk about leadership in general, I wanted to hear about your relationship with your school principal. Did you ever get called to the principal's office? What are some of your memories?
Okay, well, let me set a context first of all. I come from a family of teachers. So my great-grandfather was a teacher. My grandfather was a teacher. Both of my parents were teachers. My father retired as a senior inspector of schools, and my mother a head teacher. And all of my sisters, I have two sisters, all of them are teachers. And I myself came into the noble profession. So you can see that I come from a family of educators. However, in class, I did not really need people to teach me. I was an independent learner. And so when I was in class, because I didn't need the teaching, I disrupted the class. And severally, I was taken to the principal's office for some form of punishment. And I became very known to him. So it's interesting that I am, in a sense, I'm well equipped to be in this position now because I know how to handle kids that are not are causing a little bit of trouble. Over.
Well, I will put it that way that you actually are in the principal's office most of the time.
Yes.
Right. That's great to hear. Seeing how we have had similar experiences and living in such different contexts is amazing. You have been working in education for decades, and your family backgrounds are teachers. particularly focusing on teacher education and ensuring they have the right resources and opportunities to serve children. I suppose you like children very much. I work
Yes.
very closely with the teachers in my school, giving them feedback and working with them on their challenges. Given your deep experience, what role do you think school principals play in supporting teachers?
Well, I think they play an important role. As a matter of fact, a crucial role. I think in any school environment, the school is either good or bad based on the quality of the leadership that that school has. It is therefore important that we support school leaders so that they are not simply administrators, as some would like to see themselves as, but they're instructional leaders. They are the ones that will offer coaching sessions to teachers that are not doing very well, to teachers that need to improve their performances. But for them to be able to do that, they need to understand this teaching and learning cycle. And they themselves need to set a very clear expectation and set a very, very high standard for their school. Because when you do meet a good school leader, you know that you have a good school. And you will experience that right from the reception, right into the classroom. So I do believe that they are game changers in the quality game. I do believe that they are the change agents in their schools. And therefore, they need to have an excellent relationship between themselves and the teachers in the first instance, but also with the wider community. And that includes the parents. Over.
Wow, I agree with you. I really agree with you. Throughout my teaching experience as a teacher, then later as the senior assistant, then later now as a principal, I know that and I learned that a leader in school plays a very important role to build up the relationship. You really give me a good advice on that. As a school principal for over 6 years, I know how much my role has changed both in school and beyond it. I'm curious to hear, given where we are today and your current role as a Minister of Education, what do you think is the kind of partnership required for policymakers and practitioners to work together to make education systems work for all children?
Well, I think if the education system is to work for all children, I think the relationship between the policymaker and the school leaders must be excellent. And let me just give you a context of this. When I took on the post, I decided that this is quite a crucial part of the education ecosystem. And therefore, I sought some form of assistance from the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office of Great Britain. They provided me with some money, which we used to scope leadership in schools in Sierra Leone. As a result of the scoping exercise, we used some of that money to develop a new school leadership program. And let me perhaps share with you the contents of the school leadership program. But before I do that, I also just wanted to say what I wanted in the school leader was not someone who came to me with an academic qualification, who could espouse academic theories, but I wanted someone who was competent, someone with the skills to lead. So you talked about the changes in the environment, in the school environment. That happens in every business environment. And a good leader responds to those changes. So let me share with you a competency-based school leadership program. We decided that we will have 5 competencies. The first one was one that was for the leader to demonstrate and have a commitment to improving learning outcomes and promoting inclusion. Let me stress, learning outcomes and promoting inclusion. If the teaching and learning cycle is effective, then the learners must be learning. And you will be able to identify whether it's working based on the level of improvement in learning outcomes. So this was critical. The second competence was to promote a culture of continuous self-sustaining improvement. Let me stress, quality is not a state of being. Quality is a process. It is not a sprint. It is a marathon. And so you have to take baby steps to get to the high quality. The third, we wanted the leader to be able to model and to be modeling and guiding leadership for learning and for inclusion for all students. Now, I'm going to stress on the word all, because it means the gifted and talented, but it also includes those who are struggling and everything in between those two. Therefore, that leader must help their teachers to be able to differentiate their lesson plans so that every child will move towards achievement and no child will be left behind. The fifth is to be able to use evidence in planning, implementation, and reviewing of improvements in inclusion and learning. And last but by no means the least, it is being able to work collaboratively with all stakeholders to drive the school and system improvement. So these are the competences, the 5 competencies that we came up with, which every school leader should achieve. And I believe if they were to achieve those, they would be excellent leaders and their schools will be outstanding schools. Over.
I like the 5 competences, and I will definitely keep in mind on that and share it. Share the 5 competences with all my colleagues here in Malaysia. Yes. Thank you for that. It's really making me think about the role I play here every day in school. My next question involves a little game, a quick round of rapid fire. I have an incomplete set of sentences, and I would like you to complete them with the first thing that comes to your mind. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. Okay, the first one. Joy in the classroom looks like?
Every learner participating in the lesson.
Okay. Children today need?
They need love, they need affection, and they need caring.
Good. Schools in the future need to?
Prepare the learners not only for the world at large, so not only to get jobs, but to become good, excellent citizens, not only in their countries, but globally as well.
School leadership is?
School leadership is actually ensuring that the entire school system becomes an outstanding process.
It looks like Mr. Sackey has the set of questions ready in hand. You answered it so well and so fast. That was fantastic. Thank you for playing along. And now, for my final questions. What would you focus on if you were a principal today? Any advice for all the school principals out there listening to this?
Well, I would say you would, as a school principal, you need to be an excellent role model, not only for your students, but also for your teachers, and most importantly, for your community. You can set the pace, and in setting that pace, you will get the right reward.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Speaking to you just like speaking to a friend. Doesn't look like I'm speaking to a minister, you see? Okay, thank you. It's an absolute pleasure. We are lucky to have people like you who think so deeply about leadership and its importance in building a future for children around the world. I hope to see you in Kuala Lumpur sometime soon. Do ring me when you are here. We cannot thank you enough for this conversation.
Well, I want to take the opportunity to thank you too. I'm looking forward to coming to Kuala Lumpur. But more importantly, this is the best experience I've had in the principal's office. So I look forward to coming back.
That's great. Thank you very much again for spending your time your precious time with me. To our
Thank you.
viewers, thank you for joining us. As you listen to this conversation, let us know what you think is the leadership needed to build excellent schools. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. See you in our next episode of In the Principal's Office. Thank you and have a good day.